Don't adjust your YouTube screen. This is exactly how it's supposed to look. Episode 46 of Vlog Driver will go down in history as unprecedented for several reasons. Reason number one, as you may be able to tell, it's dark. This will be the first Vlog Driver video made at night. Second of all, as you may also be able to tell, I don't have my tripod, for a reason that will be outlined in reason number 3. Fortunately, in the Shark, there's this cool little secret compartment thing down here where I can stick the camera and it won't go flying around. So you can't see me, but you can hear me. Maybe. We'll find out in editing, I guess, whether you can actually hear me or not. Reason number 3. I am not driving in my immediate living area. If that made any sense, which it probably didn't. Because I am in Bowling Green, where I went to college and also where my grandparents live. We are here for Thanksgiving. But just because this isn't a regular vlog driving episode doesn't mean that we can't operate by the regular vlog driving conventions. What do I mean by that? Well, it is Monday, if only just barely, and this time I actually do have a new book to review. And so I'm going to review today A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I think that's correct. And if you've seen either the Shirley Temple film or the more recent rendering of A Little Princess, then you have maybe a basic idea of the story, but neither one of those is really terribly faithful to the book all the way through. Technically, I think the Shirley Temple movie is a little bit more faithful to the book, but the Shirley Temple movie also kind of sucks, so there you go. So this book is essentially a portrait of a little girl by the name of Sarah Crew. Sarah is an extremely intelligent little girl. She is an extremely thoughtful little girl. She's an extremely imaginative little girl, and that last thing is really what defines her whole character. She is extremely imaginative. And this book, and now if you've read my blog in Characterization, you'll get this, but this book is a perfect example of the 5th dimension of characterization. Essentially, this blog talks about characterization by way of the various dimensions, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, etc. And talks about the different things that you need to make a fully developed character. And the last thing I talk about, the 5th thing I talk about, is taking your character that now has a history and has emotions and background and all this sort of thing, and putting it into some sort of situation and seeing how the character handles itself, seeing what happens. Because through the first half of the book, Sarah Crew is fairly well off. She is the star pupil in the school. She has anything that she could possibly want. Her father is fairly wealthy. She has anything she could possibly want. And she's popular amongst the students and she's popular amongst the teachers. But then about halfway through the book, something terrible happens and she loses all of that. She loses all of her possessions, all of her wealth, all of her popularity. She becomes basically a slave to the boarding school and is bossed around by the kitchen staff, and nobody even treats her as a human being anymore. And this book takes a look at how this well-developed character, this character of Sarah Crew, reacts to this situation and to all of the hardships that she now has to endure. And it's extremely well written. You feel as though that she is a real person. So A Little Princess, this wonderful story of a little girl and her imagination and where it takes her. I highly recommend it. I'll see you next time, hopefully in better light.